Okay, let's talk about it. Leader, manager, we hear these words all the time, right? And half the time, we use them like they mean the exact same thing. But are they? Well, spoiler alert, they are not. And figuring out the difference, it's not just some academic exercise. It is absolutely essential if you want to build a team or a company that doesn't just survive, but truly thrives.
You know, this quote just hits the nail on the head. It's from a CEO, we'll call her Sarah, talking about her HR director. Now, this guy is good at his job. He executes flawlessly, he hits his targets, he gets things done. But Sarah's still frustrated. She feels like she's always the one who has to push for the bigger, bolder goals. He's a fantastic manager, but there's just something missing. And Sarah's problem right there, this great manager who isn't quite being a leader, that is the exact puzzle we are going to unpack together. So what's the deal? Are they the same thing? Are they totally different? The answer is they're two distinct but complementary systems of action. You really can't swap one for the other, and any successful organization has got to have both working in harmony. So, where does it all click into place? Well, the aha moment really comes from the incredible work of Harvard professor John P. Cotter. He gave us the single biggest, most important distinction between these two roles. And this is it. This one idea is the key that unlocks the whole thing. I mean it. If you get this, everything else we talk about is going to make perfect sense. Ready? Management, at its very core, is all about dealing with complexity. I mean, think about any big company. Without good management, it would just fall into total chaos, right? Management creates order. It's the planning, the budgeting, the organizing, the problem solving, all the stuff that makes sure a complicated machine runs smoothly. Leadership, on the other hand, is all about dealing with change. And in a world that's more competitive and volatile than ever, just doing what you did yesterday but better, well, that's not going to cut it. Leadership is what propels an organization forward. It's about painting a picture of the future and, crucially, inspiring people to go make it happen. But listen, I have to be super clear here. This is not a competition. One is not better than the other. In fact, strong leadership with weak management is a total disaster. It's all vision and zero execution. And strong management with weak leadership, well, that's Sarah's problem. You get stagnation. The real magic happens when you combine them. Okay, so if managers handle complexity and leaders handle change, what does that actually look like day to day? Let's break this down into three big, concrete differences in what they actually do. First up, setting the direction versus planning it out. A leader's job is to create that vision of the future and figure out the broad strategies to get there. They answer the what and the why. Then the manager takes that vision and turns it into a concrete plan. They work out the nitty-gritty, the detailed steps, the timelines, the budgets, the how, and the when. Second, think about how they work with people. A leader aligns people. This is a huge communication challenge. It's about getting everyone on board, from top to bottom, so they understand the vision and are committed to it. A manager, on the other hand, organizes people. This is more of a design puzzle, creating the right jobs, the right team structures, and getting the right people in those roles to make the plan happen. And third, how they make things happen. A leader motivates and inspires. They get people fired up to overcome big hurdles, usually by tapping into really basic human needs, our desire for achievement, recognition, and feeling like we belong to something important. A manager controls and problem solves. Their job is to keep an eye on the results, see where things are deviating from the plan, and then organize a fix. It's about making sure things stay on track. The great thinker Warren Bennis summed this up so perfectly with these quick comparisons. A manager administers, a leader innovates. A manager maintains the status quo, a leader develops it into something new. Managers focus on systems and structure. Leaders focus on people. Managers rely on control. Leaders inspire trust. And my favorite? A manager does things right, but a leader does the right thing. Okay, so we've nailed the core difference. But now, let's add another layer to this. Because, let's be real, the workplace isn't always so black and white. It often feels like we're facing a really tough choice. I mean, this is the classic dilemma, isn't it? Do I focus on keeping my people happy and maybe miss our big targets? Or do I push super hard for results and risk burning everybody out? It feels like you have to pick one or the other. But what if that's a false choice? There's this brilliant tool called the Blake Mountain Managerial Grid, and it shows that the absolute best approach isn't a trade-off between people and production, it's a full-on commitment to both. So the grid lays out 5 styles based on how much you care about people versus how much you care about getting stuff done. You've got the extremes, right? Dictatorial, all about production, not people. And accommodating, which is the opposite. But the goal, the ideal style, they call sound, or team management, is high concern for people and high concern for production. And here is the absolute key takeaway from this. The best leaders and managers don't just meet in the middle. They don't compromise. They find ways to fully integrate a deep concern for their people with an intense drive for production. That's how you create an environment where a fired-up, value team gets incredible results. All right, let's pull all of this into the world we're living and working in right now. How do these timeless ideas apply to the massive challenges we're all facing today? I mean, the world of work has been completely reshaped, hasn't it? We've got remote and hybrid work, a huge and necessary focus on mental health and DEI, and technology that changes every 5 minutes. All of this stuff demands a really sophisticated mix of both leadership and management. So, take remote work. There was this fascinating finding that what people really want is for their managers to micro-understand what they're doing, to be available and aware, but without micromanaging them. Wow. That requires incredible leadership to build trust and connection from afar, paired with sharp management to make sure the actual work is getting done well.
And it's the exact same story with well-being and inclusion. You need a leader to champion the vision, to stand up and say, we will be a place where everyone feels safe and belongs. But you absolutely need a manager to make that real by implementing fair processes, managing workloads, and ensuring those values show up in how the team operates every single day.
So when we circle back to Sarah and her HR director, the answer isn't for him to stop being a great manager. The challenge is for him to combine those amazing management skills with leadership, to know when it's time to execute the plan perfectly and when it's time to look up from the plan and set a whole new, more ambitious direction. And that really brings it all back to you. Right now, you get the difference. You see how they work together. So think about your own team and the challenges they are facing at this very moment. They need both from you, for sure. But the real question is, which one do they need from you most today?